It has been almost 2 years since major football tournaments have taken place. The COVID-19 pandemic has affected everyone around the world. Our lives have been put on hold as the challenges we faced were unprecedented. Countless lives have been lost. Many loved ones separated across the globe. The time has come for us to rise again. Stronger together. This year's Suzuki Cup goes beyond the football world. All captains and players of the national teams will play their hearts out for all families, friends, and loved ones lost. For the frontline workers who've held the fort and allowed us to be here today, we play for you. The return of this tournament signifies our strength, love, and passion as a community. As we emerge stronger together.
Two sides to make it into the last four of the competition, but this wasn't the semi-final that I was expecting. And it's a credit to Indonesia, the work that they've done in the group stages to make sure that they finish top of the group. And I spoke to Safwan Barudin recently, and he mentioned that they're taking this challenge seriously. They know how good this Indonesian side are. At the same time, there was a little bit of relief. I think
second in their group. That's an important challenge there. Safwan. I think, Roshan, of course, this is the first of 2 legs, so yes, you can afford to be a little bit conservative today. You don't have to go for it because you still have a second leg to come, and but maybe that's gone into the thinking of the coaches.
Yeah, that's exactly it, right? Nobody wants to. Need to, so don't take too many risks.
Enough noise in the crowd, mainly at the moment coming from the Indonesians, who were terrific, the fans as well as the team. They kind of played off each other, didn't they?
Yeah.
On Sunday.
Yeah, wonderful atmosphere. And we touched on that in the last game. We've spoken about this. We've been fortunate enough to do a couple of matches at Bishan Stadium with Group B, and we had the Vietnamese fans as well who've been incredible. So it's a credit to all the fans. I mean, the Singapore fans as well who've come out in support of their side. So you see Faris just taken out there. First opportunity from a set piece for Singapore.
This is their strength, isn't it, for Singapore? And Shin Tae-yong took great pains to point this out. 4 goals from set pieces for Singapore of their 7 in this tournament. Aidil Sulaiman. Great ball in. Looking like Iksan got a touch on it. Asking for a corner, not going to get it.
Yeah, the quality on the deliveries have been very good. And here, Shadan, again, just comes off Indonesian defender there. I think it's Fakhrudin. Well defended. He made sure he tracked the run of Irfan all the way in. Really good ball from Shadan.
There's Alfredo Devanga, who's been a versatile player for Indonesia.
Well, this is, we spoke about Zulfahmi for Singapore stepping forward into midfield. Alfiandra can do exactly that for Indonesia as well. So you've got these players, you see Nadeo putting it out play, but you've got these players who have got the capability to give you a bit of that tactical flexibility. They can step into that back line, play in that back five or that back three, depending on the phases of possession. And then they can push into midfield as well when you do have control of the ball and you're looking to try and build out in that possession phase.
The Singapore fans now making their own noise. Got the roof covered as well, so it all stays in here. Really adds to the atmosphere. I think the scary thing, Roshan, is the bulk of that defense. Some of them are teenagers still. The rest are in their early 20s, more or less. It just stands them in great stead, doesn't it? This is outside of the three minnows in this competition, Cambodia, Laos, and Timor-Leste. They are the youngest squad in this competition. Singapore, the oldest squad, at almost 28 years of age.
That's a wonderful contrast, and the two different styles, I would say, or perspectives from these two sides, and where they each are in their phases of development. With Shin Tae-yong, I think, very much looking at trying to bring through that next generation of talent and molding them into this aggressive, attacking, high-intensity team that he wants them to be. And I mentioned this, with younger players, it can sometimes be easier to get your ideas across to them and more willing to take those on. And I think for Indonesian players as well, it's good to be exposed to that sort of coaching, that sort of level of coaching, and that sort of level of professionalism, and those sorts of qualities that he has, Shin Tae-yong. It just exposes you. It's a matter of education as well.
Yeah, he's proved he's very much his own man, and there was pressure on him to pick, for example, Ilya Spasejovic, who has got more international goals than all the other forwards that have been picked in this squad. It doesn't fit his system. That's a lovely ball over for Irfan from Alfrianda Dewanga. Away by Irfan.
Yeah, it's not even just about fitting into the system. It's about how he gets along with the rest of the team, the rest of the squad, and and that's so important, especially in a tournament like this where you're going to be stuck together for a while in that bubble. And this is something that Tatsuma Yoshida spoke about. It's a great challenge.
Great work there, isn't it, from Song Wei-young. He's rode out the challenge as well, up to Faris Rumley on the left-hand side for Singapore. They need to put a much better ball in for Iksan Fundi. Now, breaking news, of course, leading up into this match is that Iksan Fundi, who was poised to play in the top flight of Norwegian football with his club FK Yerb, has just made the move to his brother's club in Thailand, who's in this team as well. Irfan Fundi, he's going to BG Patan, Roshan. What do you make of that one?
We'll come back to that.
Asnawi. That's put up for a corner.
Well worked by Indonesia there, just to play through the middle initially, just draw Singapore into these narrow positions, and then release Asnawi in its space out wide on the right hand side. Decent enough cross. Safwan heading it away. Yeah, interesting one. The timing of the announcement coming just before this match. I wonder what the thinking was behind that. There must have been some discussions with the player about it. It's an interesting move. We'll see how the set piece develops before we investigate that further.
Oh, a bit of a flap there from Hassan Sani. A pretty good tournament so far, the veteran keeper.
Pratama Arhan, we know he's got wonderful technique and delivery on his left foot. It's not just about his throw-ins. We saw him score a brilliant goal against Malaysia last time out. High energy, great work rate, gets up and down that left-hand side.
Successive corner here for Indonesia. Near post. This time pretty well dealt with from Zulfahmi. And a quick ball up. It's a good ball as well, but it just curves away from Faris. You see the idea from Haris Harun. It's a clear strategy, isn't it, Roshan?
Yeah, I mean, look, go for it in those situations as well with Asnawi. Credit to him on that occasion. He defended that really well. Read the pass, read the bounce of it, came across and cut out that danger.
Irfan Fandi is there to clear it away. Ball up to the other Irfan.
I wonder how long he's going to be playing alongside his brother at BG Patum, because there's talk about Irfan moving on from BG Patum. Rumors that John Book are looking at him.
Yep.
If they can stump up the cash.
That's a fair amount as well. $1 million. Now, here is that long throw, and this time it's a much longer run-up. He's got the space on this side. Pratama, they've not put a man on him this time. Should be straightforward for Hassan. And again, an immediate release. He's slipped as he was just about to make contact with the ball. Big divot there from him.
Well, that's the great thing about Hassan. And Singapore here, with these long throws, obviously they would have looked at that. They would have studied it. They would have worked on it on the training ground. What Singapore do have is at least they have height at the back. We know aerially they are strong. And Hassan is a very confident and experienced goalkeeper. He's been one of Singapore's best players, I think, in this competition.
That's where Iksan wanted the ball, but I've got to say that's excellent coverage from Alfreanda.
Yeah, it's just scary when you think about the future of Indonesian football. Alfreanda is 20, Pratama Arhan 19.
Just turned 20 yesterday.
Happy birthday to Pratama Arhan. Rizky Rido, 20 years of age. Wow.
Asnawi 22.
Yes, Asnawi 22, playing in Korea.
Here we go now. Here's Song. Oh, that was a good intervention. And on the rebound. Singapore denied anyway. It would have been offside.
Oh, this is encouraging play from Singapore. If you're a Singapore fan, you see that the variance in the runs there. Iksan just peeling off towards the near post. Oh, I tell you what, he doesn't catch that one well at all. Mistimes the hit on that. I think he'll be disappointed with himself, because when I spoke to him after he scored those 2 goals, Nur Adam has gone in with a high challenge.
Not a
Could
great
be in trouble
one. That
here.
looks bad. I don't think there's any malice in that. He's apologising.
It's a terrible challenge from Nur Adam. Be very fortunate if he gets away with it.
He's been told just to quickly walk away from this one.
Oh, I mean, look, he's got his eyes on the ball, sure, but can't go flying into your position like that.
But to clear, Roshan, you feel the worst it would be is a yellow, and it is, isn't it? So, do you think it could be worse?
Listen, I've seen sending offs for that, for challenges like that. We've seen it in the world of football, haven't we? You know, his knee is essentially gone with a knee to Witan's chest in that situation.
Yellow card it is. I think it ended up being one of those that probably looked worse than it was, because he's got up fairly quick. It did look pretty bad, didn't it? The contact made. Nur Adam has got a yellow card, a pretty early one as well. Away by Zulfami. Nicely taken there by Forrest, and then a good touch on by Ricky Kambuaya. Here's Irfan. Got him inside. Ratama. Nazrul and him having a nice, decent battle. Fairly even Stevens at the moment for you?
Yeah, nice even contest at the moment. And I think the Indonesia-Malaysia game, you remember how quick the pace and the tempo was in that one. We haven't seen that sort of intensity yet in this match, and that's completely understandable. Very early on.
Yeah. Also, because it was that one-off, effectively.
That's right.
It was almost a winner-take-all, wasn't it?
I think Shin Tae-yong mentioned something about the first 2 matches of this competition being a way for them to sort of get into the rhythm of play. And I mean, they blew those two teams away, didn't they? If that was them getting the rhythm replay, it's no surprise they made their way top of the group into the semi-finals. And then he said from then on, after those first two matches, essentially everything has been treated like a final.
Yeah, he said every game now as well, all the way to be treated as a final. I love the mind games that were played as well in the build-up to this one. He was saying Singapore, they will come at us, we're the underdog, trying to play it off, trying to put the pressure on. He's been trying to do that sort of thing throughout this tournament. Here come Indonesia. Asnawi. Rahmat Irianto. Throws down there by Zulfami.
Rahmat is another player who's been so impressive for Indonesia. Another one, 22 years of age. Can play in central defense, can play in central midfield. Doesn't look out of place at all.
Started his career up top. And he slowly worked his way back down the pitch.
Just looking to try and put it through the legs of Zulfami there. Well defended by Zulfami. Came in for a bit of criticism after that Thailand game. A bit harsh. This player with really good qualities. There's a reason why he's in the national side. A reason why Tsuma Yoshida puts him in the starting 11.
Fourth corner for Indonesia. That's defended on the corner. Indonesia looking for a way to break through. Asnawi has fallen to Witan Sulaiman. Waiting to pull the trigger.
Well, the first touch from Witan was excellent. And what that did was it unbalanced Haris Harun just as he receives it. Good run. That first touch, it's an unexpected one for that Singapore defense. Because it takes him across the penalty area here. It just unbalances Haris just for the moment. Does enough eventually to put Witan off his shot at goal. Incredible talent. I'm just talking about these incredibly talented Indonesian players.
He's off in Europe, Lechia Gdansk in Poland, Witan Sulaiman. And they played in the Serbian League. Talking of Serbian League, that's where Egy Maulana plays. He's just come across now. Indonesia had a little problem there. Didik Setiawan is okay. There's Iksan. Trying to slip the ball to him. It's a foul. Harris saw the run there of Faris Ramli. It's looking to release him as fast as they can, can't they?
You know what needs to be better? The type of pass. In that situation, Harris, he kind of lofted it in behind. It needs to be a driven pass. He needs to hit it with his instep like you're shooting at goal almost. You need to drive it in behind to that space so there's pace on the ball. And it becomes difficult for a defender to recover and maybe even read the flight of it. That's Indonesia knowing that Singapore have that threat on the counter-attack. That defense is going to have to be alert all throughout this match.
Touch on Brian Witten's a nice one. Here's Asnawi. Back to Witan Sulaiman. Now on Safwan Baharudin by the Indonesian skipper.
Yes, so now he's gone straight through Safwan here. I mean, you can see those fighting qualities. He is late with that challenge.
Well, coming into this, Indonesia had the most fouls, 58 fouls. They came in the most yellow cards, 9. And some of the ASEAN press, particularly in Vietnam, because of what happened in their group game, called them, weren't very diplomatic, shall we say, in the press about what they saw as the tactics and the way they played their football. It was rough. I think it's probably the most diplomatic way of saying it.
And again, Singapore looking to just move things on very quickly. Intelligent touch from Song. To turn away from Rizky. He left his knee in the thigh of Song Woo-yong.
Because of all those yellow cards have accumulated, that's why we have no place today for Ramai Rumakek, who is suspended for this one. They have 9 yellow cards. Singapore not far behind. 51 fouls coming into this game with 8 yellow cards. Here's Shadan Sulaiman. The ball across to a looping header. And that was creeping in from Safwan. That's what he's so good at doing.
Yeah, nice idea. Really nice idea from Safwan. You can see exactly what he was trying to do as the ball came into him, just trying to use the pace of it. Notice that Nadeo was off his line, trying to guide it and loop it over him. Again, Shadan with the pinpoint delivery from the set piece.
He's one of the danger men for Singapore in the set pieces, but completely free header, wasn't it?
Yeah, he just managed to peel away from that defense. And sometimes when you get yourself out in those wider positions, that defense can just forget that you're a threat. Nobody's sort of talking in that defense, paying attention to his positions, and that can be an issue. So Fahmi stepping up to take the corner this time.
Referee just spotting that little tussling in the box. Faris Ramli and I think Rahmat Irianto. They might be sensing a goal here at Singapore. Nadio, maybe a bit of a touch on it, could have been a defender as they try to hit Singapore on the counter here. Indonesia storming forward with Didik Setiawan, onside or not? No, the flag has gone up for Irfan.
There could have been a chance there for Indonesia, the potential to break forward here. Just needed to keep himself onside there, Irfan Jaya.
So Fahmi out across to Nazrul Nazari. And Shadan Sulaiman. Midfield made up of 3 players from the same club team, Lion City Sailors, Shadan Sulaiman, Haris Harun and Song Woo-young. So a lot of familiarity there. You've got Faris Ramli as well. You've got Nur Adam Abdullah, who dominate Singapore Premier League at the moment. Here's Song. Done well, Song. Looking good. Harris. Let's see what he was trying to do.
They can just touch it on into space behind the Indonesian defense for Iksan to get on the end of.
Nasty collision. Play will continue for now. In front. Just winded, I think.
And it'll hurt both players. It's one of those, isn't it, that both these guys have got to go for 50-50 ball in the air. Both eyes on the ball, wanting to win it. This is coming together. Didik Setiawan and Irfan.
Be fine in a minute, won't you?
Yeah, I don't think it'll be bad enough to keep you off or take you off in a semi-final.
Didik referred to Ezra Walian today, who's been pretty much the first choice striker for Indonesia. Maybe a little bit less mobile than Didik.
Yeah, his output hasn't quite been the best in this competition, but you can see his role in the team. In certain instances, he's got mobile players around him, so he's almost like that foil, that target man that he can play it into, release it, quick touches into runners off him.
So free kick here for Indonesia. Alfiandra Dewanga. Dewanga right into the wall. Iksan. That's a hugely ambitious ball for Song Woo-young to get onto.
Gives possession back to Indonesia straight away. It does allow Singapore, obviously, to push up the pitch, as they've done here.
We haven't mentioned too much until now. Indonesia just edging possession at the moment. But, in terms of chances, not too many for either side.
Just not the relationship here between Rahmat and Alfiandra. When Alfiandra does step out, as he's doing here to apply pressure on Singapore in midfield, Rahmat steps back into the back line. But Singapore broken through the middle here.
There is Aidil Sulaiman. Play continues. There was a foul, I thought, on Faris. They're going on. Asnawi. Through the legs. Shada back to Asnawi. Can they finish? Yes, they can. What a goal that is for Indonesia. Aidil Sulaiman opens the scoring.
Oh, that is brilliant from Indonesia, and that's all Asnawi. The desire to make something happen for his team down that right-hand side. Haris tried to foul him, almost took him down, got back up on his feet, and then this give and go here. The return pass, Asnawi nutmegging Shadan, and then the return ball from Witan, first time into that space for Asnawi, and then the cut back. Wonderful finish from Witan. He just doesn't panic in that situation, allows the ball to come across his body, opens up his body inside of the foot, guides it away from.
Didn't need to take the extra touch rush the first time. That helped, didn't it?
You look at his game intelligence and his wonderful technique with Tan. He gets himself into these positions and he knows exactly what he's going to do when the ball comes into him. Do I need to hang on to it? Do I need to play it first time? And he just makes these right decisions and backs himself because he's got the technique in those situations. I know this situation, I need to pass it first time, and I've got the technique to do it. So he doesn't need to hold on to it, as some players might need to do in those situations before playing a pass.
Their first shot on target, Indonesia, results in a goal. They have the lead here, just coming up to the half-hour mark in this semi-final first leg. Offside, Didik Setiawan.
But really, that was the brilliance from Asnawi down that right-hand side. He just broke free, broke forward. He tried to bring out that, yeah, he is just a little bit offside, isn't he?
Shut up. Important touch there. It's with Asnawi, who had the assist. What a goal that was. Great run from him.
They tried to do the cynical side of it, didn't they? Your favorite part of the game, taking players down in the counter-attack.
Here's Nazrul Nazari.
And you know what? Credit to the referee as well for not being quick on the whistle. Allow play to go on, allowed Indonesia to have that advantage. Even though now he was stumbling over, looking like he was going to fall, but he got himself back up on his feet.
Big discussions there, shouldn't take long. But as soon as Singapore conceded that goal, their coach Tatsuma was telling them, just heads up, quickly get the ball back. There he is. He's been very much defending his side. And both Haris Harun, the skipper, and the goalkeeper Hassan Sani have been quick to defend him as well. Putting on a show of unity, Singapore. Here's Faris Romley. Let's see what Iksan is looking to do there. Aidil Sulaiman, the goal scorer. Now Kambuaya. Was there a foul? The referee will call that back. Rahmat Irianto touching his wrist.
It was Zofami that just got given a bit of the runaround here from Kambuaya and Rahmat. It's that arm that comes across him. The referee will have a word with Zofami. A warning, perhaps. It's interesting for Indonesia how they can swap it around.
There's our man, Aidil Sulaiman, who scored the goal with Asnawi supplying it.
It starts from when they break forward down that right hand side, and then he goes down that channel, that give and go with Aidil, as I mentioned, the intelligence of when he needs to play that first time, that first touch into Asnawi, and then continues his run. He's not passing it and then admiring his pass or looking at it and going, oh, that's beautiful, Asnawi, go and see what you can do. He's give it, go. What's the next position I can take up? And that's in the penalty area. And the weight on that ball from Asnawi as well means Aidil can just allow it to come across his body, open himself up, guide it past the goalkeeper.
Did it? It's great work there from Irfan. On to Song Wei-yong. Now Nazrul. Here's Iksan. Rahmat Irianto is looking to come back on shortly. There's another man down here for Indonesia though.
Yeah, I mean, Irfan, again, eyes on the ball. He's got to go for that. He's got to go for that. It's just unfortunate that situation. There was a player in the way.
I think some of the other teams might be thinking Indonesia getting a bit of a taste of their own medicine, because they have been really dishing it out. As I said, the team with the most fouls in this tournament thus far. Pratama is okay. They won't care. They've got the all-important goal at the moment. Someone's got some thinking to do.
Now, before we went through that replay of the goal, I was just talking about Indonesia's ability to switch it up, and it's when you've got players who are so versatile and tactically sound and technically very good, you can almost, at times in matches, just rotate it. And so at times we see Rahmat Irianto playing in central defense, at times you see Alfiandra in there, and then in midfield they switch it around a little bit as well. And on this occasion, Alfiandra just dropped into that back line.
Away by Fakhruddin. Towards Didik Setiawan. Safwan gets there ahead of him. Here's Rahmat, who's okay now. Important touch from Song Wei-yong. And there's a foul on him.
Yeah, I mean,
the yellow card.
That's another awful challenge. The two left backs have gone flying into the opposition. Both have come away with just yellow cards. Look at this here. I mean, Song takes it away from him. And that's such a late challenge. And again, I have to go back to challenges like this. We've seen them. We've seen players in those situations get sent off.
Yeah, I was going to say.
That's a horrible challenge. It was the same with the...
Do you think both of them have been a bit lucky?
I think both of them have been lucky. I think Nur Adam was fortunate with his first one. And Arhan has been fortunate with that as well. The referees let them both off the hook.
Could be 10 against 10. Again, thankfully, he's got up quickly. Aidil Sulaiman was on the receiving end of Nur Adam's challenge earlier. So, set pieces we talked about. Safwan, remember, similar position earlier. Got a header on target that Nadio just managed to tip over. Touch on by Irfan. They'll get it away, Indonesia. There's Nasrul Nazari to cover. Back to Hassan Sani. So Fahmi under pressure here. He's lost the ball. Needs to get himself up quickly. And Indonesia into the side netting. That could well have been number 2, Aidil Sulaiman as well, to his tally.
Wonderful pressing by Indonesia. Really good pressing. Look at that. Aidil's already saying that's where the next pass is going to go. I'm going to close off this angle. It's going to go out to Zulfami Rahmat Irianto. Wonderful work from him. Just more aggressive, just hungrier in that situation. Zulfami has a look up. He doesn't see any options in front of him, so he thinks, I'm just going to try and hang on to this if I can. But Rahmat's just too aggressive there. And you got to understand the referees as well. Some referees would have given a free kick to Zulfami in that situation, saying there was a late challenge. But with this referee, he kind of tends to let things go a little bit.
I think that was a hope, wasn't it, from Zulfami when he went down there.
It's put Hassan in a lot of trouble there.
There's Tatsuma having a chat with Nur Adam in particular. Take us through this, Roshan.
I'm going to guess the red magnets are Singapore players, and he's trying to say trying to say to Nur Adam, perhaps touchline a bit. Let's have a look at the goal. Yeah, that's exactly what you want to see from us now. He was taken out initially by Haris, and you're thinking in these situations, you know, the cynical side of it is say foul him, and he tried to foul him, but he didn't succeed because now he just had the drive to keep going, got back up on his feet, got forward. And still had the presence of mind and composure to nutmeg Shadan with that pass through into Witan. And then we've touched on the cutback and the quality of the finish.
Witan Sulaiman.
He's going to be a massive player, Witan Sulaiman.
Absolutely. Him and Egy are the two that Indonesia are pinning their hopes on. Maulana arrived only yesterday, so will not be available until Saturday. Yes, that's right. For the second leg. Good news for Singapore is that Hassan Sani is up. Yeah, Roshi, just going back there, it appeared that he was looking to try and push Nur Adam a bit further up on that board. Tatsuma?
I think he wanted him to perhaps maintain his width a little bit more, so there could have been an outlet potentially for him. But that's another lovely run from Witan. And what I like tactically about Witan's role here is that he's got that freedom to go and exploit any sort of spaces that he wants to. And it becomes very difficult to pick up. Really excels in that sort of free role in possession, I think, Witan.
Iksan won't get that. Back to Nadio. Here's Alfredo Devanga. Loves spreading those passes, doesn't he? All the way back.
It could have been a bit of defensive instruction to Nur Adam there as well. But we see him now just looking to try and stretch out that Indonesian back line off the ball. Of course, has decided to go straight down the middle instead of to this left-hand side.
Here's Nur Adam. Oh, lovely work from him. He was the best young player in the Singapore Premier League last season. Devanga with the clearance. Here's Nazrul Nazari. Singapore looking for the equaliser. Shadan Sulaiman out to Nur Adam. Now Safwan. Harris gets a touch on Shadan. There's a foul on him. Got the ball, ref. That's being said by Irfan.
Nice and patient in possession there, Singapore. I like how they've sort of just looked to work this. Gets to the ball first. It looks to me like a good challenge. I know from the referee's point of view, he might think it's overly aggressive and from behind, but I mean, I think he's actually put a decent challenge in.
So these situations have been Singapore's strength, as we've mentioned. And that's why Indonesia very wary of them. Shadan Sulaiman. Nur Adam, Zulfami standing over the ball. It's Zulfami. Somehow that's been kept in. It's away by Rahmat Irianto. about 3 minutes left in this first half. Nur Adam, lovely control by him. One back by Aidil Sulaiman though. There was a foul on Nur Adam. Shin Tae-yong not happy with that decision and how long perhaps it took.
Yeah, I think they're just looking to see if there was an opportunity for an advantage to take place. Irfan's gone down on the far side of the pitch. He's got back up on his feet. That's good to see.
Zulfami. Should be a little bit of added time, of course, with the injury stoppages that we had. Now we'll get to Song Woo-young. Back with Indonesia now. There's Kambuaya. Zulfami looks annoyed.
Yeah, Ricky Kambuaya. I think he's been excellent for Indonesia in midfield. He's one of those players, you know, all the eyes will be on everyone else. Aidil Sulaiman will be talking about Egy Maulana, Elkan Baggett. But Kambuaya is that machine in midfield, never stops running, and he's such an intelligent player as well. I love how he's aware of his positions and the body shape that he needs to take up to receive, to turn away from pressure, sees what's happening around him.
Ruanga up against Iksan. Roshan, you'd mentioned earlier that you felt Singapore in midfield, it's not been their best work. They've been good on the transitions, perhaps. Same kind of problems today?
Well, no, not particularly just in midfield. I mean, in possession.
Yeah.
As a team, it's not looked. They've not looked that smooth. It's not looked that great. But when they do have these opportunities in the counter-attacks, then that pass selection, the type of pass that they play into the spaces for runners, it's got to be better. It's got to be these driven passes, not these lofted style passes, which give time for defenders to reorganize themselves.
Lovely ball out from Hassan Sani to Nur Adam. Zulfami stepping out.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, no, you brought up exactly the same point I was going to bring up. You see Safwan picking up a yellow card for himself. That's a late challenge. Very late. Into the back of Witan. Gets the ball kicked into him from Rahmat as well.
Yeah, no surprises. 3 minutes. We have had a number of stoppages, haven't we? For the fouls, the injuries. Murada. Would you say, Roshan, this scoreline probably a fair reflection of what we've seen so far? Or
yeah, I think so. I think so. I think it is. I mean, create a chance like that with the quality that you have, finish it off. And I don't know if Singapore have actually created much danger. That's not to say Indonesia themselves have created much of note, but they had that moment of quality there from Asnawi and Witan with the finish. I mean, it's I struggle with that word deserve in football. It's a strange word in football for me, because you sometimes see what's the aim of the game? The aim of the game is to score goals, right? And to win matches. And you could have defended for 90 minutes and created like 2 chances, scored 1 goal, and end up winning the game. And people might say, yeah, but you didn't deserve to win.
Yeah.
I mean,
you've done the job, right?
You've done the job. What does that mean? You deserve it, right?
Here's Asnawi. Song battling away here against the wing back. Faris, I should say. He gets a free kick here. Might be a little air frustration here for Singapore.
Yeah, the entire atmosphere, the environment around this has just gone a little bit flat, and this suits Indonesia. They've got the goal. They don't need to, open themselves up and be as aggressive as they were against Malaysia.
Here's Irfan. Loves his driving runs from time to time. Up to Nazrul Lazari. It will be a throw-in. One final chance, perhaps, for Singapore at the end of this first half. That would change the complexion of this game, of course. They can score here. Nazrul. Another foul. Should probably rack things up in this first half. Pratama, he's been in the wars, hasn't he?
A lot more of that tactically disciplined performance from Indonesia here defensively. Similar, I would say, to what we saw the second half against Malaysia and against the whole game against Vietnam, pretty much.
Heavy touch on from Zulfami. Kambuaya. We've had the 3 minutes. And the first half comes to a close here at the National Stadium with Indonesia in the lead against Singapore in the semi-final first leg. Thanks to this man here, Aidil Sulaiman. But it's been a first half of few opportunities. The best one falling to Safwan Baharudin.
Yeah, smart header from Safwan. And that's where Singapore have looked perhaps the most threatening from those set-piece situations. Remember, 2 legs in the semi-final, still a real long way to go of this one. In this one, Indonesia, as we see, getting together in that little huddle just before they go off into the locker room. But I think they've been the better side in the first half. I think they've been the better side. Singapore really need to improve on their pass percentages. They've only completed 62% of their passes in the first half, and that's not good enough quality to cause problems for the opposition.
So, halftime score then at the National Stadium in this Aff Suzuki Cup Semi-Final. It's Singapore 0, Indonesia 1.
It's a great feeling, and I hope they will celebrate for a long time.
Sending this 55,000 crowd into 7th heaven.
It's a finish now to show this up, and that's what he does best. Alexander Duric, he's only been on the pitch for 2 minutes.
Shaw picks up the loose pieces, and it's 11-0 for Singapore.
Well, you've been doing it excellently all throughout the season. Well done. Congratulations once again, Tomoyoki Doi. Now, he obviously bagged some impressive goals over the season, but it wasn't just limited to him. Across the league, we saw some sensational strikes. Here are some of the best goals of the season.
He's got a gun just outside. The ball comes in. Fasha doesn't come for it. Blake clears it. And a first-time effort from Song! A first-time effort from Song Young.
Really stretching the lines here. Oh, Nakamura's seen the keeper off his line! Goodness grief! Kyogo Nakamura has scored another goal of the season contender. Diego Lopez!
Oh, what a goal!
Diego Lopez with his 4th goal of the season has hit an absolute worldie.
Oh, Luis Jr. gonna make something of this. Has an attempted goal. Oh, Luis Jr., you beauty!
Fatula, brilliant play. Fatula with a shot. And what a goal! Fatula Rahman. Take a bow. And he goes past his man easily like he wasn't there. Can he go past Yamashita? And what a goal! What a solo goal from Rio Adichiguchi!
Some absolute beauty.
Oh, and his shot was blocked, Iksans. And the first goal for Singapore. Oh, there's found a little gap there. Song Woo-young. Here's Faris. He's got Eksan in front of him. Now Shawal to his right. He goes wide, takes a shot. A close one, a great goal that is! And Eksan Fundy fires Singapore into a 2-0 lead. On the counter, Singapore are deadly. Pressing very high up. This is where they could leave themselves a bit exposed, and that's exactly what's happened here. Akia bearing down a goal. He cuts inside. That's a fantastic. And Cambodia left themselves cruelly exposed in their attempt to get a goal. Coming inside. Oh, what a lovely goal that is. He's only just said that they don't lie down. I think he's right, but they can't be giving the ball away like that. It's Girado. Oh, Stoiber. Oh, that was the opening goal. Got a good hand to that, the goalkeeper, Adarito. Stoiber gets the opening goal. They had a very poor World Cup qualifying campaign by their high standards. Thailand's a lovely ball in from Shanatik. Larabadin Tirasin! Well, he smashed that low and hard. And it's got past Min Lat. That is their first shot in the entire game on goal. This is all they can do, clear it, and then it comes right back at them. Slipped in to Huang Duc. The shot from Quang Hai! And Vietnam take the lead! They've been knocking on the door, and it finally opens. Flag stays down. He's onside here. Bumpachan's waiting for Billy Ketkyo. Instead, he finds Kidavon. He's going to go for goal! Oh, what a fantastic strike that is! Kidavon, who was responsible for the penalty that gave Indonesia the lead. Sosuhana. Sukunduchiak. Here's Vatanaka. Can he put a finishing touch? Yes, he can. Chan Vatanaka opens the scoring on the half-hour mark. They have been threatening. He came close a few minutes ago, to the delight here of the Cambodian fans who made it to the game. Plays for Ipswich under 23s. They flew him in for this. Had an issue with COVID, but all good now. Oh, what a shot that is! From distance! It dipped on Kyle Funny!
It's one of 4 players in the starting 11 to be playing in his second Suzuki Cup. The ball's broken clear for Tien Lin. The shot is on! When Tien Lin goes boom down, and the fans go crazy over a scintillating strike.
It's a great feeling, and I hope they will celebrate for a long time.
Sending this 55,000 crowd into
To finish now, to show this up, and that's what he does best. Alexander Duric, he's only been on the pitch for 2 minutes.
Shaw picks up the loose pieces and it's 11-0 for Singapore.
I think Harris has spoken recently about perhaps not being in full fitness as well. As Witan breaks free down this right-hand side.
He's been a real danger man, hasn't he? Aidil Sulaiman to Irfan. 3 goals, 2 assists in this tournament. He is down and out at the moment, Irfan. Kambuaya. Here's Baggett. He flies this trade with Ipswich. The under-23 side. Irfan is back on the pitch. Talking about Ezra Walian, 24-year-old, who spent part of his youth career with AZ Alkmaar and Ajax Amsterdam before making the move to Indonesia a couple of years ago.
And that was a good run by Song Woo-yong. And well defended, good covering from Arhan, the left back there. What he did, Song, was just drop deep and then spun around Baggett into that space that was created for him.
Good work there from Iksan. It's still Iksan. Oh, he's got the ball right across the face of the goal, but fantastic perseverance from the striker.
This is what Singapore need a lot more of in the second half against this Indonesian side. That fight, that spirit, that willingness to go on and win these balls, win these challenges. It's wonderful work from Iksan. Just to make sure he was on Arhan there, to win the ball back, put him under pressure. Had to carve out an opportunity for himself. Just didn't have anyone gambling on the far post.
Andrea gets that away. Nur Adam. No, Kambuaya. Shut down on him. Here's Walian. Up to Song Woo-yong, a little bit of luck perhaps for him. Outside to Iksan. He's got Elkan Baggett right on him as well. Oh, good work again from the young man. No foul from Nazrul Nazari on Irfan. Here's Pratama. Irfan Jaya, look at that amount of space he has at the moment. Slips that in. Oh, lovely touch there from Aidil Sulaiman.
Very good covering from Shadan. So important that he was alert to that and dropped himself back into his own penalty area. It was such an intelligent little flick in behind by Aidil Sulaiman.
So there is the Singapore skipper, Haris Harun. Remember, he had COVID-19 as well not too long ago. It's injuries. His first competitive match in a couple of months was the opening game against Myanmar in this Aff Suzuki Cup. Faris Ramli run onto that. Ahead of Fakhruddin. Now Nur Adam. That's straightforward for Nadio.
Yeah, it's in the air a long time. In the air a long time. Easier for the goalkeepers to read the flight of that ball in those situations and get out to it. No real whip or pace on that. But there was an intelligent ball that he had played in behind for Faris Ramli just before that. Encouraging start for Singapore.
You think there's just a bit more bite about them now?
Yeah, they're lacking a little bit of intensity in their first half.
Here's Pratama for Indonesia. Slips it to Irfan. Hanumantan's covered that, but still a loose ball. Irfan's shot is blocked by Irfan. It's Irfan Jaya to Irfan Fandi. Little turn there, isn't it? Such a threat, isn't it? Asnawi plays his football in Korea. Same club, actually, as this man's younger son, Shin Tae-yong's son. It's a video that's just come out. Actually, an old video of Shin Tae-yong discussing his move to Indonesia with the Korean superstar Son Heung-min of Tottenham Hotspur. There at the stadium in London, talking about that move in November 2019. He was considering it, and Son Heung-min was encouraging him to go. Shin Tae-yong laughing about it, saying he needs to get pocket money for his son. Here is Iksan Fandi. Again, Elka Baggett, the task to keep close to him. He's done well here, Iksan, and he'll get the corner. See more of the ball, isn't he, Roshan?
Yeah, but he's having to come out to this right-hand side quite a bit, Iksan, to get himself involved in the game. Not exactly where you want him. You want him in the area. But he's trying to make something happen for the Singapore side. Good energy, lots of pace. Nice strength as well to hold off Baggett. He knows he's in a proper battle every time he's come up against Iksan. So far they've been, he's been able to match him stride for stride.
Oh, that's a header, 3-1 for Iksan. High and wide though.
Yeah, again, they're able to win the first ball in these set-piece situations. That's where they are really threatening the quality of delivery that comes in. And they're both difficult angle, but for him to perhaps just readjust his body as he tries to flip this one on.
It's got more touches in this first few minutes of the second half than it did in the entire first half.
I said Singapore had to improve on their passing percentages in terms of their the accuracy. Was 61% in the first half. It's already gone up 3% in the second.
Baby steps?
Baby steps, yep.
2 players down for Singapore.
This Nazrul doing well, getting ahead of Irfan Jaya, and then Anu's colliding Anu's knee with Nazrul's head. Nazrul looks okay. It's Anu who's getting treatment now.
Yeah, hopefully be able to run that off. Play continues here now. Alfreander Lewanga stepping out more and more, isn't he? Rahmat Irianto.
An extra body in midfield, as I said, his versatility allows him to do that.
Got it on by Pratama to Irfan. Two Irfans keeping a close eye on each other. There's a big bunch of Singapore fans right behind Nazrul Nazari. And I hope their team on their support. Wyatt's trying to twist and turn his way in the box. But it's now out to Singapore. Song Woo-young's done well here. Still Song, but just a heavy touch. Anumantan, who was looking to release Faris Rumley on the far side.
A bit of a shame that. Bit of a shame. Just held on to it for a little bit too long, Song. Faris was free on that left-hand side, and Iksan had run himself into an offside position, so he couldn't receive. That opportunity for diagonal from Anu getting closed down very quickly.
Safety first for Haris Harun. Taeyong, of course, took Korea to the World Cup in 2018. Where they had a memorable result against Germany. Or quit soon after. Here is that big throw coming in. We haven't seen it for a while from Pratama Arhan of Indonesia. Plenty of pace on it. Nice punch out from Hassan Sani. Here's Witan Sulaiman. Still with Witan. Asnawi. Oh, the right idea, wasn't it? To Irfan Jaya.
That was so good. So good. Irfan Jaya with the position that he took up there, a run that he made from outside in. Just have a look. I think he's kept himself. He's done really well to keep himself onside. Have a look at Nazrul here at the bottom of your screen. Keeps him onside.
Really static, wasn't he?
He doesn't push up with that Singapore defensive line. He's trailing in behind, and Irfan Jaya was almost in behind there. Asnawi with the clever disguised pass into the run of Irfan.
Now Anumantan for Singapore. Haris Harun. Faris Rumley. Song Woo-young. Nice interchange of passes. Harrison shot well over. The building a little bit more, Russian.
Well, that was really good from Singapore's perspective. The way they were able to make their way right through the middle of that Indonesian side. Lovely, quick 1 and 2 touch football. Gives and goes. Iksan's asking for it to have been played into him. His run here. Instead, Faris decides to have a shot. They've not had enough of those situations where they've passed it quickly like that. They've had those connections through the middle. Those combination plays for Singapore have been missing.
Irfan has gone down here. Rahmat is too impressed. But I think that's fair enough. That's an elbow into the face of Irfan Fandi. There's Faris Rumley. Aidil Sulaiman looks up for his options. Now Anumantan. It's too much on that pass, but there is Nazrul Nazari. Looking for his brother Iksan. Foul on Song Woo-young. became a Singapore citizen just a few months ago. In this tournament, his first competitive matches. Singapore's first naturalized player in a long, long time. Korean has been here for a decade or so. And Russian was an ex-teammate of yours, and just tell us some attributes of this player, Song Woo-young.
Well, you see it on the pitch when he plays. You see it in the training sessions. His energy, his work rate, ability to carry the ball forward. So he's a very strong runner with the ball. And what he's added to his game over the last few years or so, as he's developed, as he's grown, 50-50 possession there. Indonesia still leading by a goal to nil. What we've seen from Song as he's grown is the ability to add goals to his game, being played in more advanced positions for his club side, previously Home United, now at times with the Lion City Sailors.
Played as a forward, didn't he, at the end of this last season?
Yes, that's
right. Versatile player, Song Woo-young. Great addition to this Singapore side. There's Ik-san. There's urgency here about the Lions at the moment. Again gets there ahead of Ik-san. Now Irfan Jaya. Rahmat Irianto, Ricky Kambuaya. Here's Alfreanda Dewanga. Now Song Woo-young. To thread that pass to Ik-san. Irfan Jaya looking to slip that through to Ezra Walian. Shepherded out by Haris Harun. Singapore seem fairly solid at the moment with Haris now moving into that back three.
Yeah, looks stable at the back for the moment. Better organization, and they're starting to look a little bit better with the ball.
That move
in possession.
Anu in the holding role. What do you think? It's pretty good. It's worked.
It's worked for now. I mean, Anu, in terms of the profile of a player, he's not the most progressive in possession, but he's got good strength. He's a ball winner in the midfield. So I think a lot of the creative element from midfield has probably got to come from Song, and they've pushed him further forward alongside Ik-san, him and Faris, and then you've got Shadan in there as well.
Good challenge from Song, wasn't it? Lovely take here from Faris. Oh, in a great position. Took it on his weaker left foot. And that is their best opportunity of this half, Singapore.
Oh, wonderful work from Faris. This is really good from Singapore. The way they win the ball back here, Song with a challenge. And then Faris, have a look at this lovely bit of skill. And you're backing him. Once he gets into that position, you're backing him to finish it off. Wonderful here. He just sends Fakrud in the wrong way. Trying to bend it to the far corner of the goal. Faris.
Certainly has been an improvement as far as Singapore are concerned. The mistake for Malcolm Baggett, giving the ball away. He's the new man in for Indonesia.
Not had the best of impacts, Malcolm Baggett, since coming on. And Indonesia here, just at times defensively looking a little bit shaky. Singapore starting to up the tempo of their play.
And it's a double substitution for Singapore. Zulkarnain Sulaiman, who's been the preferred right back, or right wing back, as the case may be today, is now going to come on. He's going to come on ahead of Nur Adam. So he's going to go into that left back or left wing back role. And Song Woo-young is being taken off by Shawal Anwar. He was really making an impact, wasn't he, Song?
Yeah, again, I don't know if it's a fitness issue that they're sort of managing. But again, different type of player. Shawal coming in, lots of pace. You can see his acceleration here already. So he looks to try and track back and help his side out defensively. It's good with his off-the-ball runs as well, Shawal Anwar. Decent technician, ability on the ball.
Indonesia are now bringing on their team captain, Evan Dimas, for Rahmat Irianto. This is the change we saw in the last game against Malaysia.
Yeah, I think what Evan Dimas will bring with his introduction here is a bit more control for Indonesia and possession in midfield. I think they've lost control of the game a little bit. Perhaps needing not just fresh legs in there, but someone who's very comfortable in possession, can try and dictate the tempo for them in those areas.
So Shawal move across to this right-hand side. And Dimas in the centre of midfield for Indonesia. Here's Irfan Jaya. Ball over the top by Aidil Sulaiman.
Yeah, good control defensively again from Singapore. They're making sure they track runners. They got themselves a lot better organized out of possession.
Shadan. Looking to again release Shawal now. Well, they've got some pace up there, haven't they?
Have a look at that. Singapore's pass percentage is, in terms of the accuracy of passes, gone up to 67% now.
Indonesia's as well. It's gone up a little bit to 75. Singapore certainly look an improved unit in the second half. There's Asnawi. Evan Dimas seems to be around forever, Roshan.
Yeah, he's been playing football for a long time now. I'm just looking at the attempts, and it's 6 each to Singapore and Indonesia, and both with 5 shots from inside the box. Just the one for both of them coming from outside the box.
It looks like Amy Reka is also going to come on very shortly. Saw some movement on the bench there. It'll be interesting to see if they're going to take off Iksan Fandi. Or will they play 2 out-and-out strikers? They don't need to yet, Roshan, right? With another whole game to come. Be interesting to see what they do. Here's Shawal. Maybe with that second game in mind. 20-minute run out for Amy Reka.
I'm interested to see if it's Iksan or Faris actually that potentially comes off here.
Yes, Evan Dimas. After Dewanga, Elkin Baggett. Kambuaya. Here's Aidil Sulaiman, has come onto this left-hand side for a bit. Sulaiman, strong header. Here's Faris. Flag has stayed down, and it has made its way in. It is the equalising goal. Iksan Fandi has made it 1-0. The whole crowd has its breath there, waiting to see if that would stand.
Yeah, they've deserved that goal, and straight away you asked to be taken off. They've deserved that goal, Singapore. I think they've been the better side in the second half. They've started to find a flow and a rhythm in the game. They started to string passes together. Let's have a look at this run. Yeah, he's onside. Well clear onside. And I wasn't sure if he was certain he was going to score there. This takes a bit of a deflection of Nadeo, and the angle was against him as well. But what was important here, Faris does such a great job of drawing the defender towards him, beating him, and then releasing that pass into the space that was left behind. But you remember the ball that came across, and it was headed first time by Zulkarnain. And there were cries of time. And normally when you hear that, you think, okay, I'll take it down and bring it forward. But what was crucial was that he headed it first time right into the feet of Faris, and then Singapore could turn around and counter-attack quickly.
His third goal in the tournament, Iksan Fandi's first two came in the opening game. And I tell you what, he scored. That was probably his last bit of action, regardless of what happened anyway. He asked to get taken off. That was the decision anyway by Tatsuma. He's done his part. And Singapore will be hoping he'll be absolutely fine for the second leg in just a few days' time. Shawal Anwar racing down, he won't get there. Ivanga is also pretty quick. This game, of course, now livened up with about 20 minutes to go. Roshan, this is beautifully poised now, isn't it?
Yeah, brilliant. Wonderful, and not just for the rest of this one, but for the second leg as well.
Reminder, we're playing two legs. There is no home and away legs in this at all. So if the second semi-final is tied on aggregate, we will go to extra time, potentially penalties. Ivanga's gone down and then quickly gets up. And now listen to the National Stadium. It's got the crowd going, that goal. But there's no doubt the changes have made a difference. Shawal Anwar, he went down and it's going to be a corner.
Yeah, it was so important that Ricky Kambuaya got that timing of his challenge spot on in that situation. Any sort of touch away from Ricky Kambuaya, and this is a penalty. You can see that he makes a connection with the ball here, Ricky Kambuaya. Fantastic challenge. It looks like Shawal's going to be running away with it, but important interception from Kambuaya.
They've lost one of their best receivers on the set piece, Iksan, but there's a chance here off the woodwork. Opportunity for Safwan Baradin to make it two.
Well, again, they almost make this set piece count. Again, wonderful quality from Shadan. I mean, his deliveries have been excellent. And Safwan again, Singapore get a first head on it, but they can't punish Indonesia. He's unlucky.
But it's just enlivened this crowd here at the National Stadium. It's a sea of red looking for that ball. Hanumantan has won that header. Faris looking for Amy Reka. Here's Evan Dimas. Indonesia trying to get control of the ball again. Control this game. Nazrul Nazari. Here's Ricky Kambuaya. Ratama. Releases quickly to Singh and Sofiyan. Willing them on, the crowd here at the National Stadium. Safwan opts for safety.
Well, this could be a formula for Singapore going forward, you know. If they decide to go with five at the back, Haris dropping into central defense alongside Safwan and Irfan for the rest of the competition, however long they've got left in it. I mean, they've looked much better organized in the second half, defensively and in possession as well. They're looking so much better that they've increased the tempo of their play. Indonesia, the ones that have started to just look a little bit wobbly in certain situations.
There's Haris Harun to Aidil Sulaiman. It's also, this is zipping the ball around more, aren't they?
The better connections now. You know, players are closer to each other. They can pass it, and there's a bit more confidence on the ball in possession.
Foul by Asnawi there.
Opening up the pitch a little bit better as well with the positions that they're taking up. And again, they're connecting the passes a lot better here.
One ball. Oh, lovely work. Shawal. First the ball won by Hanumantan.
A good bit of skill by Emi. And it just takes the contact and wins the free kick. Clever bit of play.
Will be a lot happier, won't he? Tatsuma Yoshida. And now you can really hear the chants for the Singapore crowd, but here come Indonesia. Evan Dimas. Aidil Sulaiman. And away by Harris. That was the first touch was from Irfan. Ricky Kambuaya. That's outside the box.
Oh, I think Pratama Arhan has gone over to say it's right on the line. If it's on the line, it should be a penalty. Clumsy from Nazrul. He could have really been punished here. Oh, that's a penalty.
That's it, the box, isn't it?
Oh, that should have been a penalty. Very fortunate, Singapore, that there's no video assistant referee, because that should have been a penalty to Indonesia.
Yeah, from the angle we were on, it was very, very tight. The referee immediately pointed to a free kick. As you can see from that replay, a clear penalty for Indonesia. That will be a talking point. Not many protests on that one either. Here's Evan Dimas. They don't know what's happened. I'm not sure the rest of them do. Indonesia about to make another change here. Haris Putra is going to come on. Oh, he's done his job magnificently. Wow, the man has only been on for about half an hour. He's off. There's Rawalian, who's taken off by Haris Putra. That is never something any most players want to have, but he goes across to his coach, shakes his hand.
I was looking for that potential flashpoint.
That's flipped over. El Kabaga, he'll be the one that they'll look for in these sort of situations. This Sagara Putra, 22 years of age. Just his second cap. His first one was coming on against Malaysia right at the end of the last game. Maybe Reka. There's a foul, yes. Dewanga was furious, shaking his head.
Important for Emireka to make sure he held on to it or won a free kick in that situation. Singapore under a little bit of pressure. Indonesia starting to get themselves back into this game.
Shawal trying to get a touch on. Here he's back on the ball. Nakama trying to clear it. It will be a throw-in for Singapore. Front there, Dewanga. Away by Evan Dimas. 10 minutes left in this match, plus some added time, and this is just the first of two legs for Singapore and Indonesia.
covered by Haris. Seems more comfortable in the center of defense. He's done in midfield in this competition.
Indonesia have responded fairly well since that goal. A good little spell right after it. Trying to get a grip on this game, aren't they, again? Evan Dimas with the delivery. Straightforward for Hassan Sani. He was looking out at Faris Ramli, and he's going to deliver the ball to him anyway. That was perhaps telegraphed. Oh, great work there from Hannes. Here is the new forward. Now Asnawi. Away by Aidil Sulaiman. Ravanga is there ahead of Emireka. Here is Evan Dimas. Good work here from Hannes to the wing back. Pratama. A foul on Faris Ramli.
Well, Hannes has already made a really good impact since coming on for Rawalian. Been buzzing around that forward line, already linking up on the right-hand side, on the left-hand side. Going to cause a few issues for the Singapore defense with his link-up play. It's been such an even game of football. Fascinating to see the changes from the first half and into the second.
Mantan on Hannes, who's done a great turn and shot. It's straight at Hassan Sani.
Well, Hannes in the 5 minutes that he's come on has made so much more of an impact than Ezra Walian did in his time on the pitch. It's an attempt. I mean, if it taken a deflection of Haris, that could have ended up in the back of the net. A little bit of curve at the end there, just almost fooling Hassan.
Touch on from Nazrul. Here's Anumantan. Now Emireka. Well, we're going to get a late goal here to give one of these sides the edge going into the second leg, which is on the night of Christmas, 25th of December, Saturday night. Mark that in your calendars. Took on there by Shawat Emireka. There's a foul on Shawat.
Wonderful leap from Shawal. Timing of that jumper. About to see another change for Singapore here with Hafiz Noor.
First time he's appeared in this edition. Hafiz Noor. Yet another Lion City Sailors player. Intercepted that ball. Look at this run here. Anumata trying to stop Asnawi. We saw what he could do in the first half. And that was behind Aidil Sulaiman. As Singapore come roaring back the other end. Here's Faris Ramli.
That was incredible from Asnawi, wasn't it? That run. I mean, again, they tried to foul him. It's almost like, reminds me a little bit of
Harris doing enough.
Sorry, sometimes of course to claim that. It's going to say the way Asnawi runs up and down the right-hand side, or especially down the right-hand side, is and they try to stop him. He's like as if he's slatting in that baby oil, which is what Nama Traore does, doesn't he? For Wolves. Can't take him down when he starts moving.
The only difference is a physique, Roshan, I think.
That's now he's getting there, I think, with the physique. Because you can't foul him.
Yeah. That's exactly what happened in that first goal.
Yeah.
What's happened there? There's just such amazing pace about this Indonesian side, isn't there?
Yeah, certainly is. And it's really exciting when they get into that full flow. Mind you, Singapore have got good pace themselves. The likes of Shawal on the pitch now. Faris, Iksan when he was on. Now another quick, speedy player about to come on for Singapore to replace Faris Ramli.
Yeah, I mean, Hafiz Noor is now 33. And he's still got bags of pace about him. Faris was meant to part, hasn't he, this evening with the assist for Iksan Fandi.
Yeah, and I think he got more involved in the game in the second half. They cut out the first half. You could see they were trying to counter-attack very quickly. Lots of direct balls being played forward, not quite finding the accuracy in those passes, and the pass selection wasn't very good from Singapore in the first half. Second half, they got players closer together in certain situations, and at the same time, they were able to sort of position themselves in a way that could stretch out the pitch, and stretch out this Indonesian side. And so those connections, those players were closer around in possession of the ball. They were moving in to receive, and then they were runners off the ball, as they're doing here once again.
Oh, that's a great shot from Amy Reka. Relatively comfortable there for Nadio.
It's increased the pace of their play as well in the second 45. Singapore, wonderful work here. Spins away, receives it. Off Hafiz Noor. Testing the goalkeeper. It's a really good shot. Difficult one as well to execute. It's bouncing around like that from range at speed.
That's so well, could be. Singapore here with Aidil Sulaiman's corner. Away by Baggett. You think, Roshan, this might be the template now, right? With Harris in the three and perhaps Anumantan there in the midfield?
Yeah, that could work for them. I mean, again, it really depends on what they're trying to do, right? It changes from game to game, and just because it's working now doesn't necessarily mean.
Here's Dimas. Very fun. Such pace about Irfan.
But I will say that they have looked a lot more organized since Harris has gone into the center of that back line. Ron Zulkarnain has done very well there, to make sure that he was able to keep pace with Irfan. Track back, get on the inside, get goal side, come across. And shepherd it all the way to your goalkeeper.
That's a point upfield. Irfan.
Gone straight through with the top of Aidil Sulaiman as well. It's been a dangerous one, this.
Sultan picks himself up. Just as he picked up this Indonesian crowd here with his goal.
Yeah, I love the finish. Love the finish. His composure in that position, just opens his body up, guides it past Hassan Sani. And then here, Faris carries the ball forward, beats a man, and then plays it into that space that was vacated by the central defender who had pushed forward to try and stop the run of Faris Ramli. But just before that as well, the header from Zulkarnain, I think, was very important. First time header straight into Faris Ramli, and that meant the momentum of the move was kept alive.
And look at that, with the top scorers of the tournament. Iksan Fandi on to 3. Iksan has now got 2. And Iksan, I should say, 11 goals now in 25 appearances. Not a bad return.
That's a very good return. I think that's a really good return for a centre forward on the international stage.
He's talking to his brother Ilhan there. people's lips. We're going to see all three Fundy brothers together. All the sons, of course, of the legendary Fandi Ahmad, known particularly well in both Singapore, of course, and Indonesia. They spent a lot of time. Yabes Roni will have a cameo here in place of the hugely impressive Irfan Jaya. Plays his football with Persipura Jayapura. Bali United, excuse me, the 26-year-old, wearing his 6th cap today.
One last opportunity perhaps for Indonesia with Yabes Roni coming on. A bit more pace in there. Last minute and a half or so. Buaya.
Here's Pratama Arhan. Slips it to Kambuaya. Hanumantan. Ace of Yabes Roni on him. He's held off that challenge. About a minute left of this added time.
Well, assuming it stays this way, we're right back where we started. No away goals, so
throw in by Pratama. Nothing goes on for a goal kick.
Nothing really changes. Nothing's really changed. Oh, it's given a corner.
Oh, wow. Nazrul, very casual there. A contentious moment, perhaps, right at the end of this match. If they go on and score, Elkan Baggett scored off a corner. He will be the one to watch out for. He's got a lot of players around. The referee has noticed that. There he is. Anu, Safwan, and Irfan all around him. And that's away by Shawal Anwar, and that will be it. Well, what a second half I think we had. That game came to life. Iksan Fandi with the crucial equaliser for Singapore. Roshan, both coaches will have had some good moments here. It's a fair result.
Yeah, I mean, 1-1 in a match where away goals and things like that don't matter. It doesn't really change anything going into the second leg. It's great for us neutrals.
Absolutely.
It's all kept alive for the second leg. It was a strange match. You know, I thought Singapore were a little bit flat in the opening 45. Indonesia were the better side. And then the second half, Singapore woke up with those changes that they made, with the structure to the team. They upped the intensity and the tempo of their game. Got their reward with that equaliser. Whereas Indonesia then in the second half started to look a little bit wobbly in certain situations, looked a little bit tired. So it's a fair result in the end. And this makes things very, very exciting going into the second leg at the weekend.
That was a nice way of saying a game of two halves. Well, it has been, entertaining in parts. Of course, there is still a long way to go. We are only at the halfway stage of this semi-final, and it's honours even. And they do it all again in just 3 days on the first night of Christmas. And let's see who will come bearing gifts. Full-time score here in the first leg semi-final of this Aff Suzuki Cup 2020. It's Singapore 1, Indonesia 1. And the crowd showing their appreciation. I think this will be refreshing after what we saw or heard in that last game.
I think this is important from Singapore's perspective. This is very important that they were able to give their fans something to shout about, something to cheer. Like they've come out, and to be fair, the majority of fans in Singapore that have come out to these matches have been very supportive of the team. I think they had a small group of supporters perhaps booing them after that game against Thailand, and this was a good response from them, especially in the second half. And it creates a lot of enthusiasm for the second leg. And the same for the Indonesian fans. You know, they've been brilliant, and the players have gone over just to show their appreciation for the fans that have come out to support them, and I'm sure they'll be back to support their side in the big one, in the decider.
It was interesting, wasn't it? You mentioned how the game went a bit flat at times for one team or the other, just like the crowd as well. It fully reflects what's going on the pitch. But then there was a good period, about 10-15 minutes, when both sets were doing all they could. They got nice and stretched. It was a bit of end-to-end. They had their chances, but it was overall a game of few clear-cut opportunities.
Yeah, that quality in those attacking positions was just missing. But I can understand that. It's the first leg. You know, it's a big semi-final. You know, you're a couple of steps away from a place in the final of the competition. You don't want to take too many chances, too many risks, especially when you know there's a second leg to come. So I can understand that. A little bit of pragmatism at times, a little bit of a lack of risk-taking. Look, it's set up brilliantly just for the second leg, and I think it's going to be fascinating to see what the tactical setups are going to be in that one, whether both teams come back into a back five, or whether they go back to the systems of four at the back and they both go and try and attack each other.
Because, of course, it's a different dynamic then. But here is the man of the match, Aidil Sulaiman, Roshan, who scored the opening goal, but he did so much more, didn't he?
He's a wonderful player to watch. Lovely player to watch. So graceful on the pitch, the way he just glides across, and intelligent in the way he takes up his positions, and the good knowledge of good awareness of when he needs to hang on to it, when he needs to play it first time. And he never looks rushed, never looks hurried. You know, he's always composed in possession, and then of course adding that quality with the finish. You know, it's all about getting those numbers up. People watching the games, they might not necessarily be paying attention to you as the 22 players to keep an eye on, but if you get your numbers up in those situations, you start to get noticed a lot more as well.
So that brings us to an end here at the National Stadium on the first of two semi-finals. Tomorrow, Vietnam take on Thailand. Who would have thought that would be the semi-final matchup? That will be another lip-smacking affair. Looking forward to that one. And just 24 hours from now, as the Singapore team are regaled by their fans the national anthem. And they stand with pride here after what's been a good performance, a much better performance from what they've done in the early matches. But from me, Shazad Haq and Rish Roshan Rai, thanks a lot for joining us. We'll see you tomorrow night.
오늘 경기가 절대 만족 못하고 한 번쯤 고비가 올 거라고 생각했는데 그 고비가 오늘 온 것 같아서 조금 아쉽습니다. Definitely not satisfied with the result today. Result of the match today. Tournament, but then the moment it seems like the moment came on to us today. So a little bit disappointing afterward, but yep.
And Aidil Sulaiman coming back for the second leg. What is he going to bring to the side?
지금 애기가 지금 두 번째 경기에 참석할 것인지, 그 다음에 애기가 만약에 들어오면 어떻게 뭐 경기를 할 것인지. 일단 뭐 애기가 다음 경기에 출전하지 않을까 그렇게 생각을 하지만은 그 멤버는 또 모든 선수의 컨디션을 보고 멤버를 짤 것이다. Yes, he may be able to play in the second leg, but then I'll have to look at the conditions of all the players overall first, and then I'm gonna decide.
And a message to your boys for the second leg.
두 번째 이제 경기에 선수들한테 어떤 메시지를 전할 것인지. 뭐 오늘 우리가 뭐 잘했던 거랑 못했던 거 있기 때문에 못했던 거에 대해서 조금 우리가 더 연구하고 준비를 잘해서 다음 경기에 승리할 수 있도록 준비하도록 하겠습니다. We've had good moments as well as bad moments throughout the 90 minutes of the match today. And so we'll definitely have a look at the moments that didn't go really well, and then prepare for the next match accordingly.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
For the second leg.
Thank you.
looked much better in the second half, better tempo, big connections as well. What was the reason behind that?
I think so. Second half, the boys was getting better. But so kind of this match, boys were a bit nervous, but we have to understand. But they just finished just half. Second half, we have in between 2 days. After 3 days, we have to try to be better.
And Song was doing well, but you took him off. Is that fitness related? And also an update on Iksan's fitness?
About Song? Yeah, and Song from first half, he was tried play very hard. Yeah, so he got a bit tired. Yeah, that's all we have next match. So Iksan and Song. Also, maybe they have to play at the next match.
And your message to the boys for the second leg?
Sorry,
a message to your boys for the second leg.
But we can not promise must win. But I can promise we able to show our full potential, full performance.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Good luck for the second leg.
Thank you.
It has been almost 2 years since major football tournaments have taken place. The COVID-19 pandemic has affected everyone around the world. Our lives have been put on hold as the challenges we faced were unprecedented. Countless lives have been lost. Many loved ones separated across the globe. The time has come for us to rise again. Through it all, we will emerge stronger together. This year's Suzuki Cup goes beyond the football world. All captains and players of the national teams will play their hearts out for all families, friends, and loved ones lost. For the frontline workers who've held the fort and allowed us to be here today, we play for you. The return of this tournament signifies our strength. It has been almost 2 years since major football tournaments have taken place. The COVID-19 pandemic has affected everyone around the world. Our lives have been put on hold as the challenges we faced were unprecedented. Countless lives have been lost. Many loved ones separated across the globe. The time has come for us to rise again. Through it all, we will emerge stronger together. This year's Suzuki Cup goes beyond the football world. All captains and players of the national teams will play their hearts out for all families, friends, and loved ones lost. For the frontline workers who've held the fort and allowed us to be here today, we play for you. The return of this tournament signifies our strength, love, and passion as a community, as we emerge stronger together.